UK approves increased submarine-related exports to Taiwan. Taiwanese slugger Chang named WBC Pool A MVP. Mind diets reduced signs of Alzheimer's in brain tissue. Japan relaxes mask guidelines from Monday. Kiwi Quan brings us to tears again. Brussels to roll out EU-wide driving ban on reckless drivers. The US-made cheese can also be called Gruyere. This quadruped robot could become a lifeguard.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Tuesday, March 14th, and here are your top stories. According to UK government export licensing data, Britain approved a sharp increase in exports of submarine parts and technology last year to Taiwan as it upgraded its naval forces. The value of licenses granted by the British government to companies for the export of submarine-related components and technology to Taiwan totaled a record $201.29 million during the first 9 months of last year. A Reuters analysis of the data showed that was more than the previous 6 years combined.
Reuters reported a British government spokesperson said in a statement that the UK has a long record of granting licenses for exports of controlled goods to Taiwan on a case-by-case basis, where those applications are consistent with the rules that regulate the exports of arms and dual-use products. The statement added, "We consider the Taiwan issue one to be settled peacefully by the people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait through constructive dialogue without the threat or use of force or coercion."
Team Taiwan failed to advance to the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic despite a 2-2 record in Pool A, which also included Cuba, Italy, the Netherlands, and Panama. However, according to Focus Taiwan News, Taiwanese slugger Chang has been named as World Baseball Classic Pool A Most Valuable Player for his explosive batting performance during Team Taiwan's 4-game run.
Focus Taiwan said the 27-year-old Taitung County native scored 2 homers, had 2 doubles, a .438 batting average, and came out 7 for 16. Chang also racked up a .500 on-base percentage, .938 slugging percentage, 8 RBI, 5 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts in 4 games. Because Team Taiwan didn't make it to the quarterfinals, Chang will head to the spring training camp of the Major League Baseball's Boston Red Sox, which signed Chang to a 1-year US $850,000 contract on February 16.
A new study found that people who consume foods from the plant-based Mediterranean and brain-focused mind diets had fewer of the hallmark signs of Alzheimer's, sticky beta-amyloid plaques, and tau tangles in the brain. The MIND diet is short for a Mediterranean diet intervention for neurodegenerative delay. In fact, according to the study, people who most closely follow either of the diets had almost 40% lower odds of having enough plaques and tangles in brain tissue to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
According to a statement on the study, researchers also found people who scored highest for adhering to the MIND diet had average plaque and tangle amounts similar to being 12 years younger than those who scored lowest. In addition, the study said that just one food category from either diet, such as eating recommended amounts of vegetables or fruits, reduced amyloid buildup in the brain to a level similar to being about 4 years younger.
Japan on Monday relaxed its guidance on wearing masks as a COVID-19 prevention measure in a milestone for a country that was arguably the global face of masking during the pandemic. Now, in most situations, the decision of whether to wear a mask is up to the individual. The change took effect exactly 3 years after Japan passed a law on special measures against the coronavirus, which allowed the government to declare a state of emergency.
Instead of uniform guidelines, individuals and businesses will now make their own decisions on whether to unmask. Many facilities and services, including railway operator JR East, convenience stores like 7-Eleven, and fast food chains such as McDonald's Japan, are making it optional for customers to wear masks, while employees are still either required or recommended to do so. The operator of Tokyo Disney Resort recently announced that it will make wearing masks optional, for both park visitors and employees starting Monday.
I always needed time on my own. I never thought I'd be here.
I take your blessings with your heartaches too. It's so easy and so wonderful to know it's you.
学习，一切从今天开始。FUNDAY 英语。
In his acceptance speech after winning Best Supporting Actor, Quan once again delivered an earnest and emotional speech, which spoke to never giving up on your dreams. Quan said, "My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp, and somehow I ended up here, on Hollywood's biggest stage. They say things like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe this is happening to me. This is the American dream," he said. "To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive."
Mom, I just won an Oscar!
Along with his winning of Best Supporting Actor, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once takes home 7 awards in the 95th Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actress in a Leading Role, Michelle Yeoh, Best Directors Daniel Quan and Daniel Scheinert, Best Film Editing, Best Original Screenplay, Best Actress in a Supporting Role for Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeoh's win makes her the first woman of Asian descent and the first Malaysian-born performer to win an Oscar for Best Actress.
The European Commission has announced plans to improve road safety across the EU, including a reshaping of the driving test systems. The new proposals would fix the legal age for taking an exam to drive at 17 years old, and fresh license holders would have a 2-year probation period, during which they would not be able to drive alone, and a complete ban on alcohol consumption while driving would also apply. The European Commissioner for Transport said driving tests will focus more on risk factors and hazard perception.
Last year, more than 20,000 people died in road accidents in the EU, and 40% of fatal ones involved a driver under the age of 30 years. Brussels says this must change. It wants the number of deadly road accidents to be reduced to 0 by 2050. Another key part of the package is to promote EU-wide cooperation on enforcing traffic offenses made by foreign drivers. The European Commissioner for Transport said they would like to introduce an EU-wide driving ban for those endangering others on the roads.
A U.S. appeals court has ruled the name Gruyere can now be used to label cheeses from outside of the Gruyere region of Switzerland and France. The Virginia court upheld a ruling stating that the U.S. does not have the same strict rules as Europe on the designation of origin for foods. It agreed that Gruyere can legally be used to describe cheese regardless of where it was made. The court said the French and Swiss groups cannot overcome what the record makes clear. Cheese consumers in the United States understand Gruyere to refer to a type of cheese, which renders the term generic.
The Richmond, Virginia, based 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled last Friday cheese, regardless of its location of production, has been labeled and sold as Gruyere in America for decades. It said this includes cheese from the U.S., Netherlands, Germany, or Austria. It upheld a ruling made by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, which rejected a claim by 2 groups representing cheese producers from Switzerland and France for a mark that would restrict the use of Gruyere to cheese from Gruyere itself.
Researchers in South Korea have developed a robot that can walk and run on any type of terrain. The quadruped robot, Rainbow, can equally keep its balance on grass, a sandy beach, an athletics track, or an air mattress. Its developers say previous robotic systems could walk on shifting terrain, but only walk. Rainbow has demonstrated it can run at more than 10 kilometers per hour and swiftly change direction, turning around at a speed of 90 degrees per second on top of an air mattress.
Rainbow's battery can last for about 3 hours compared to 1.5 hours for Boston Dynamics' own quadruped robot Spot. However, unlike Spot, Rainbow is just a prototype and not for sale at this stage. The robot currently has 4 legs and no arms. The research team plans to add an arm to it so it could clean streets, deliver goods, or assist workers in factories. The team said Rainbow would make a great lifeguard patrolling on shore. We could have the robots walk around the shore and alert us if there is an emergency.
FUNDAY News will help you sharpen your English skills and keep you informed about international current events. If you want to know more about our other programs and keep learning about the world's most important topics in English, please click the link in the description below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.